What kinds of teachers do you like best? Well, I would be blessed to have teachers who have a good sense of humor, dedicated to work, and above all, they should be firm and fair by being consistent with rules. – 15.2. Who was your favorite teacher when you were young? My favorite teacher was Mr. Long, my math teacher when I was in high school. Not only is he a subject specialist, but he also has a deep-rooted sense of belief that every child can, which is kind of encouraging and inspiring to me. More than that, he did have our interests at heart, and that's amazing, you know. – 15.3. Would you want to be a teacher in the future? To be honest, I've never even contemplated that. Actually, since I was a little girl, I've always been dreaming of running my own business and becoming a successful entrepreneur in the fashion industry. – 15.4. Have you ever had bad teachers before? I don't think I've really had one, but my high school physics teacher, Mrs. Huyen, did not leave me with much of a good impression. Her teaching style was kind of teacher-centered, where she just focused on providing and controlling the flow of the content. It made me feel somehow distant to her, you know. Do you like walking? Yes, I do. I love doing exercise to keep fit. Walking is one of my favorite activities because it is easy to partake in daily life by going to nearby places on foot. (16.2) Do you like to walk on your own or with others? I prefer to walk with somebody else. When I have a partner, I can walk longer distances by talking to him or her, which means that I can get fit and keep entertained. (16.3) Would you say that your city is a good place for walking? I live in Ho Chi Minh City and I take pride in my city since it has a lot of parks for the residents to enjoy walking in. Besides, there is even a main street in the city center called Win Hue which caters especially for pedestrians. (16.4) Do Vietnamese people walk a lot? I don't think there are so many Vietnamese people enjoying walking due to our cultural setup way of life. They often ride their motorbikes even if the destination is a matter of a few hundred meters away. A matter of no more than a specified period of time, e.g. they were shown the door in a matter of minutes. 16.5. Do you think that we need to walk more? Yes. I really think that the Vietnamese should be encouraged to walk more to avoid obesity as well as air pollution from transport such as cars and motorbikes. How often do you read? As a student, I often spend 1 to 2 hours per day reading books. The ideal time and place for reading is in the afternoon at the library. Where it is quiet so that I can concentrate on reading without any disturbance from outside. – 17.2. Do you have many books at home? Not so many. I own a collection of fantasy novels written by J.K. Rowling. Besides novels, I'm also keen on cookbooks and travel books. The Lonely Planet and Cooking Like a Master Chef are the two favorite books on my shelf. – 17.3. Do Vietnamese people like to read? In my opinion, most Vietnamese people like reading very much as we were told to do so since they were at school. Vietnamese pupils are taught to love reading and how to keep their books clean, and this is also one way to evaluate the pupils' behavior and attitude to their studies. – 17.4. What kind of people like reading and what kind of people don't like reading very much? Well, I think people who are involved in outdoor activities generally do not like reading very much. And people who do research or work at schools or universities tend to like reading. However, this depends on other factors, so it's hard to generalize. Do you often like to listen to music? Yes, of course. I listen to music quite often. I have a smartphone which I download a lot of songs onto. When I fancy listening to something, I just turn the phone on, put on my headphones, in my earphones and play my favorite playlist. 18.2. When do you listen to music? I often listen to music while I am cooking or doing the housework. The vibrant sound of the songs cheers me up and makes me move rhythmically in time with the song. Sometimes I listen to music while waiting for the bus. This is a great way of killing time effectively. Eighteen point three. What's your favorite kind of music? Well, that's definitely K-pop, I mean Korean pop music. I am a crazy fan of Big Bang, a boy band of superstars. This boy band has become famous not only for their songs but also for their fashion style. In the other words, they are trendsetters for the fashion of youngsters in Korea and some other countries including Vietnam. 18.4. When did you start listening to this type of music? Actually, I first listened to K-pop when I was at secondary school. At that time I didn't quite understand the meaning of the songs, as Korean wasn't a compulsory language taught at school. However, the rhythm was so fascinating and the dancing was so great that I could not take my eyes off the TV. How do you feel when you listen to this music? Well, listening to K-pop always makes me feel greatly buoyed up and optimistic. Even when my mood is down and tired, this music helps me pick up my energy and makes me feel stronger. I think listening to music is also a therapy to relieve stress and boredom. Eighteen point six. Have you ever been to a concert before? Actually, I have never been to a concert before. I have just watched a live concert on TV. It was the most amazing show I have ever seen. I think if I had been there, it would have been even more fantastic. Asterisk generally gorgeous means beautiful. Very attractive and refers to appearance. 18.7. Do you like to listen to live music? I always prefer listening to live music to recorded music from the studio. As live music always gives me the true sound of the instruments and the voice of the singer. I really love the hot and excited atmosphere of the crazy crowds when the singer breaks the rules and communicates with the audiences. Asterisk generally furious tends to mean extremely angry. 18.8. Have you ever learned to play a musical instrument? Yes, I have learned to play the guitar. It's not so hard as people say. There are a lot of videos online which teach us how to play the guitar. I downloaded some videos and started to learn. It wasn't easy to pluck the strings at first. My fingertips hurt terribly for being toughened up. However, after a couple of weeks, I found my skills had improved and now I can play a complete song. #, 18.9. Is music an important subject at school in Vietnam? Well, actually music is not a main subject at school in my country. Pupils have music once or twice a week. Because music is not a compulsory subject in the final exam, most students find it convenient to learn this subject. 18.10 Did you often listen to music when you were a child? If yes, give details. Yes, as far as I can recall, I often listened to music from the radio when I was a child. There was a children's channel broadcasting songs for babies' bedtime. Sometimes my mom sang me to sleep with her lullabies. Now I still remember a lot of the songs that I heard when I was little. (18.11) What kinds of music are most popular in Vietnam? I'm not sure what kind of music is most popular in Vietnam. But I guess contemporary pop music is the most in demand, sought after now. This is most evident if you follow the top hits online. Pop ballad songs always rank at the top and are played in many public places. (18.12) Do you like traditional songs? Well, actually I'm not keen on traditional songs very much. Some of them are rather difficult to listen to and understand because the lyrics and melodies are outdated. However, I'm quite interested in some traditional songs which have been modified to be played or sung by young artists with electrical musical instruments. Describe your education. I started school when I was 7. I finished my primary education 5 years later and I went to secondary school at 12. Then at 16, I made it to a high school for gifted pupils in my hometown. In my country, high school education lasts 3 years. Then I went on to higher education at the Foreign Trade University where I'm currently studying economics. Economics 19.2. What is your area of specialization? Well, my major is external economics. I have mastered the basics of economics and socio-economics. Combined with business knowledge mainly related to the import and export business. #, 19.3. Why did you choose to study that major? I think it would help to fulfill my dream of introducing my country's agricultural products to the world. Vietnamese goods have a real potential, but they still struggle to make a name for themselves. You know, 19.4. Do you like your major? Why not? Yes, of course. Studying economics, especially external economics, is interesting and practical. It helps me to keep up with current affairs and it improves my analytical and problem-solving skills as well. #, 19.5. What kind of school did you go to as a child? As a child, I attended a public elementary school. It's quite a big school in my hometown which provides both high-quality education and a supportive environment, so I think I was quite lucky. #, 19.6. What was your favorite subject as a child? Well, I used to be very passionate about drawing when I was a little girl. It was fun to work with brushes and colors, you know. As it was the time when I could indulge in my own creative world. #, 19.7. Do you think your country has an effective education system? To be honest, I don't think so. Our system has somehow become unduly stressful. Does not promote creativity and the ability to be critical due to the fact that our society still cares way too much about grades and schools consequently focuses on an exam-driven curriculum, which I find quite impractical. Article 19.8. Possibly, are you looking forward to working? Absolutely. It's great to join the workforce, especially when I can do the job I love. Not only will it pay the bills, but it'll also give me the joy of making a contribution. It's hard to be happy and fulfilled without working, you know. What do you do? I'm currently working as a graphic designer for a fashion magazine for youngsters. 20.2. What are your responsibilities? Well, I'm mainly responsible for designing the cover of the magazine. I normally work with the concept team to make sure that the final product will both attract the potential buyer's attention and express the theme of the magazine. Magazine. 20.3. Why did you choose to do that type of work or that job? I guess it's because of my artistic passion. The process of creating beautiful things is somehow intriguing to me. So I chose to be a graphic designer, which combines both art and technology. It's quite interesting, you know. 20.4. Is there some other kind of work you would rather do? Well, if possible, I'd like to be a freelance writer. Actually, I'm a big fan of action movies, and I also care about healthy living, so I'd love to write about these topics and share my stories with people of the same interest. 20.5. Describe the company or organization you work for. My company is not huge. It's just a small art design office, but is definitely an inspirational workplace with a young, creative, and extremely passionate team. We work on the basis of mutual understanding and respect for each other, so it's kind of an ideal environment for me. 20.6. Do you enjoy your work? Most of the time. It's rewarding to co-work on projects with amazing people in an open and supportive environment to bring out an art production that will ultimately give me a sense of satisfaction and pride. Bachhhh2. 20.7. What do you like about your job? Well, the perk of being a graphic designer is that you'll surround yourself with inspiring images every day. My daily working life involves seeking out inspiration in all sorts of places, researching incredible illustrations and graphics, and creating them too. It's great, I think. 20.8. What do you dislike about your job? What I don't like about this job is that our personal taste in design varies. And normally I'll have to do 1,000 edits to get the final product that meets the demand of my boss while still relating. Staying faithful to, remaining true to the initial concept. Conform means to behave according to the usual standards of behavior that are expected by a group or society. This does not relate to things like concepts. 20.9. Possibly. Do you miss being a student? Sometimes, when I'm burdened with heavy workloads or the pressure of everyday life, I recall the memories of being a student. We were all carefree and innocent back then. It's a precious time that I cherish. What activities would you do if you were spending some leisure time at a beach or near the ocean? To be honest, I have always dreamt of surfing and chasing big waves as well as enjoying a glass of wine leisurely in the sunshine on the beach. Therefore, if I have chance to spend my spare time at a beach, I will give priority to do these things. – 21.2. Why do some people like water sports? Personally, I think some people prefer aquatic sports because they want to be immersed in water, which is a logical activity to do on hot summer days. Additionally, there may be a tendency to be curious about water, which isn't a natural environment for humans. – 21.3. Do you think the government should invest money in developing facilities for water sports? I definitely agree with this idea because if the government invests its budget in developing facilities for these kinds of sports, they will gain a lot in profits such as from taxes from ticket sales. – 21.4. Do you think that human activity is posing a threat to the oceans of the world? It is obvious that human activity, namely overfishing or depositing industrial waste into the ocean, has affected the oceans adversely and has led to negative consequences such as the loss of biodiversity and marine pollution. 21.5. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of traveling on the ocean? Traveling on the sea can allow people to feel free and see aquatic animals in their natural environment. Regarding drawbacks, in addition to the risks of experiencing storms and nasty weather, being seasick can make people feel miserable and uncomfortable. – 21.6. Do you think it's important for children to learn how to swim? Yes, of course, because most children would be vulnerable to death by drowning if they aren't taught to swim. So it is very important to educate them how to swim early as a wise precaution. (21.7) Do you think it's best for a child to be taught to swim by a parent or by someone else? In my opinion, children had better learn how to swim from trained professionals in health clubs rather than from their parents, because these trainers are the ones who are sufficiently equipped with the skills to prepare children correctly. There is no guarantee that parents can do the same. How do children celebrate birthdays in your country? It is popular for children in my country to have birthday parties at home or in restaurants and invite friends and relatives to join. On this occasion, they are usually given gifts and money. (22.2) How did you celebrate your last birthday? On my last birthday, I had the best birthday ever. I and friends made an all-day excursion to Phu Quoc Island, the largest island of Vietnam. We celebrated with a barbecue party outside and danced together under the moonlight. (22.3) What kinds of birthday gifts do you like to receive? I'm really interested in handmade gifts because they represent not only the creativeness but also the passion of the sender. Therefore, I always appreciate receiving them and try to keep them as long as I can. (22.4) Is there a difference between the way you celebrate your birthday in the past and in the present? Yes. In the past, when I was a child, I could only celebrate birthday parties at home and invited friends to join. However, as I'm mature now, I can decide to do more things to make it special, such as by traveling to explore new places. How often do you eat chocolate? To be honest, I have a sweet tooth, so I eat sweets and chocolate all the time. I'd even eat chocolate for breakfast if my mother let me do it. What's your favorite flavor? My taste in chocolate varies a lot. 4.2. Is that a big city or a small place? Well, my hometown is a large district with roughly 24 wards. The booming population and economy have turned it into a promising hotspot for many investors. 24.3. Please describe your hometown a little. There are two words to describe my hometown, which are natural and dynamic. It has beautiful scenery of mountains and lakes. On the other side of the coin, its industry is growing fast, and a lot of industrial zones are being built there. 24.4. How long have you been living there? I had spent a happy childhood in my hometown for 18 years until I left for Ho Chi Minh City to study at university. It's 5 years since the day I left, but the memory of my hometown is always in my mind. 24.5. What do you like most about your hometown? I think that's the peace and quiet of the countryside, which give me peace of mind. The people live close together and always give anybody a hand when they need it. Twenty-four point six. Is there anything you dislike about it? Maybe there's one thing I dislike about it. That's most of people in my hometown speak with a speech defect. For instance, they make no difference when pronouncing L and N. I think it could be a big problem for them while communicating with foreigners. Twenty-four point seven. Do you think you will continue living there for a long time? I think I will definitely go back to my hometown, find a job and settle down there. I believe that my hometown will always be a safe, clean and livable place for everyone. Do you often sing? Yeah, singing gets me in a good mood, so I almost sing every day, although my voice is not really good, in fact off key most of the time. 25.2. When do you like to sing? Whenever I'm alone. Do you often sing? Yeah, singing gets me in a good mood, so I almost sing every day, although my voice is not really good, in fact off key most of the time. (25.2) When do you like to sing? Whenever I'm alone, I start singing, especially when I'm taking a shower or doing the dishes. I'm too shy to sing in front of other people. (25.3) How much time do you spend in singing every day? Actually, apart from singing while doing things, I always try to set aside another 10 minutes every other day to catch up on music. It's also time to rest my brain. (25.4) What kinds of music do you like to sing? Well, I'm a big fan of R&B and EDM, but the thing is, they're extremely difficult to sing along to. So although I listen to those kinds of music, I like to sing ballads and pop songs. (25.5) Is it difficult to sing well? Obviously it is. I reckon one has to be talented to sing acceptably well. To sing beautifully, a person needs technique and enough training. (25.6) Do you want to be a singer? No, definitely not. Singing is just a way to entertain. I would find it impossible to make ends meet with my terrible voice. Do you like sunny days? To be honest, I'm not into sunny weather. I'd prefer a partially cloudy day without rain, when the weather is pretty cool, so that I could pleasantly take part in outdoor activities without getting sunburn or sweating from the heat of the sun's rays. Is 26.2. What do you like to do when it's a sunny day? On a sunny day, I like to wake up early and take a walk around my neighborhood to enjoy the warmth of the sunshine when the temperature isn't too high. I also prefer to do the laundry as clothes dry faster due to the lower humidity on these days. 26.3. Would you like to stay at home or go outside when the weather is great? I've always had the urge to go outside on a nice day, as the beautiful weather makes me feel really comfortable from the inside. 26.4. Also, there's no hindrance of crappy weather to outdoors activities. So I think I just can't stick to staying in bed and missing such an occasion. 26.4. Are there many sunny days in your hometown? My hometown is in the middle region of a tropical country, which means there's usually sunshine. 26.5. In fact, due to its coastal location, it's the driest and hottest region in my country, especially in the summer, so the weather is somewhat extreme. 26.6. What do you usually do on weekends? I often spend my weekends hanging out with friends, going to the gym, or simply staying indoors watching the latest episode from my favorite TV series that may have been missed from the week due to my busy schedule. 27.2. What did you do last weekend? Last weekend, I went to the gym. It's a good way to keep in shape to fight off illness and prevent me from becoming flabby and weak. Exercise helps me get a sounder, deeper sleep as well. 27.3. When do you spend time with your family? Well, I used to spend time with my family almost every night, but now, as I'm studying and working far from home, I can only arrange to meet my family on holidays. Is 27.4. What do other people in your hometown or in your country usually do on the weekend? Generally, people in my country spend their weekend playing sports or going to trade centers in the city for recreational activities. The old tend to visit their relatives, while the young will plunge themselves into beautiful landscapes on a short road trip as an escape from city madness. (27.5). Do you think it is important to make the most of your weekend? Yes. Obviously, the weekend is precious after an exhausting working week. A relaxing weekend will not only get me ready to tackle another monster of a week, 'but it will also help me to avoid getting sucked into a routine that feels a lot like a daily grind. 27.6. Do you feel that weekends now are more important to you than when you were a child? Yes. It's clear that working time now accounts for a higher proportion of my schedule than it did in the past, so time off definitely means much more to me. It gives me chance to recharge my batteries and stay connected to family and friends, which I find harder to do at present than when I was a child. 'Do you like art? Yes, I have a passion for art, especially painting. I'm a member of a painting club and have a part-time job at an art gallery in Hanoi. 28.2. Do you think art classes are necessary? Why? Well, yes, I think art classes are necessary for everyone, as arts tend to build confidence and creativeness in learners. There is no true or false in art. Artists always think outside the box and feel free to express their own styles. bachhhh2 28.3. How do you think art classes affect children's development? I'm sure that learning art helps children think creatively, with an open mind. And school becomes more interesting for children. In fact, playing is also learning. bachhhh2 28.4. What kind of paintings do Vietnamese people like? As far as I know, most Vietnamese people like landscape painting. They often hang on the wall pictures of awe-inspiring natural scenery. Such as mountains, lakes, sea, or of peaceful countryside with endless paddy fields. bachhhh2 28.5. What benefits can you get from painting as a hobby? Of course, as painting is my hobby. I can draw a lot of beautiful pictures which depict memorable moments in life. Those pictures can be given as a gift to friends on special occasions. bachhhh2 28.6. How often do you visit art galleries? As I said above, I have a part-time job in an art gallery, so I go there quite often. Sometimes I also drop by some other art galleries around Hon Kiem Lake at the weekend to update myself on new art trends. bachhhh2 28.7. What kinds of things do you like to draw? I like to draw portraits most. I have drawn a lot of pictures of my family's faces and never am I fed up with that. bachhhh2 28.8. Is it easy to learn how to draw? Actually, learning how to draw is not difficult as long as you have the passion for it. However, to become an artist depends on many other factors, such as talent, patience, etc. How often do you meet with your family? It's normally once a month. At present I'm studying and working in another city, which is quite far from my hometown. So I can only set aside time for my family at the end of the month because of the distance and heavy workload, you know. 29.2. How do you spend the time with your family? We often spend quality time together on eating scrumptious meals prepared by my mother. Talking with each other while enjoying our favorite delicious foods. It's a precious time when we can momentarily get away from the hectic whirlwind of daily activities. Is 29.3. Do you want to live with your family in the future? I'd prefer we live in the same city, so that we could take good care of each other, while making sure our family's bond is secure and will not suffer from potential discrepancies in our individual lifestyles or the generation gap. (29.4). What activities do your family like doing together? My family often gather around the table enjoying a cozy meal together, communicating and sometimes busting into laughter because of my father's humorous stories. We're also particularly into family game nights, when we huddle together to play cards or other family favorites. 29.5. Are you close to of your family members? Most of them. Actually, I'm a little bit more distant with my brother as compared to other members. We have personality conflicts and different viewpoints, so we often have arguments over even the smallest thing. Things. 29.6. How has your family influenced you? My family has definitely shaped who I am now. They have imprinted on me proper principles like respect, moral values, and good manners. I have also inherited humbleness from my mother, and determination and patience from my father. (29.7) Do you want to be married or to be single in the future? Yes, I do want to get married. We all ultimately find our true love in life, you know, and marriage is the ultimate commitment that we can make to our soulmate. Moreover, I want to build a loving and supporting home for my children like my parents have done for us.